For this project, I'll be using a 6.5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, and a pair of scissors. I'm using kitchen scissors because that's all I could find. To start, we'll be making a magic circle. So I realized as I'm doing the voiceover now that I'm going a bit fast, so I'm going to make a slower version. But basically you want to form an X on your two fingers. Take the hook, go under the first string, wrap it around the second string, twist up, grab the second string and pull through. Again, I'm realizing I'm going a bit fast here, so if you can follow that, amazing. But I will do a slow version and link it below. So we're going to chain 2. Every round will begin with 2 chains. And now we're going to do 10 double crochets into the circle. So yarn over, go through the circle, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet. Again, yarn over, go through the circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2. We're going to do another one. And we're going to do a total of 10. So feel free to take your time. Pause the video. We can meet back here when you're ready. So I'm just grabbing the tail end, the one that's not attached to the yarn, and I just pulled it tighter just to make it easier to do my double crochets. Now we're just going to grab the tail end and close it up. That is your first round done. Okay, now we're going to end the round. Every round will end with a slip stitch, so don't do the first 2 chains. Go under that first V, which is your first chain, yarn over, pull it through, and then pull it through the loop. So it's just one single thread going through. Now we will, just like before, chain 2. Again, we'll end with a slip stitch and then start every round with 2 chains. Now for this one, we will be doing a total of 20. So the first stitch will be 1 double crochet, the second will be 2 double crochets. Now I find it easier just to focus on the pattern. So I go 1 and then 2, and I just try to keep that in mind. At the end is when I count all of my stitches. Again, take your time. Pause the video. We can meet back here when you're ready. I will be making a total of 5 rows because that is dependent on my crochet hook size, which is a 6.5mm. I personally find that easiest to work with, but do whatever is comfortable for you. You'll want to keep making up the rows until it can fit the crown of your head. It's not the entirety of your head, but the very crown, the very top. Going to do a slip stitch. Again, under the first chain. So that first V, yarn over, pull it through, chain 2. Now I'm counting my stitches. So for this round is the third round, so every third stitch will be doing 2 double crochets. Again, take your time. When I first started doing bucket hats, I didn't always get the pattern perfect. Um, and if you don't do it as suggested here or in other videos, you'll end up with a wobbly bucket hat, which isn't really the vibe. So I probably wouldn't do that. If it's your thing, do whatever you want. Um, just again, take your time. Now, if you're a beginner, kind of like me, um, the tension was the hardest part for me. So as you can see, I've taken the thread that's attached to the yarn and I've wrapped it around my fingers. That creates the ideal tension for me. Um, but when I was a beginner, I didn't know how to do that. So if you guys like, I could show you how to create the tension needed. But again, it's something that you learn over time. You'll learn that your own finger placements that you find more comfortable. So I do think it's best to just do trial and error. You keep up your projects and you just go for it. Now I'm making 5 rounds because I have a very large head. If you have a normal or I guess regular sized head, then again, you don't want to follow my guide. You just want to put it on the top of your head and make sure that it's covering your crown. So you'll probably do like either 4 rounds if you're using my size hook. If you're using a smaller hook, you'll do more rounds. But just make sure as you go that you're measuring it with your with your body. If you're making it for someone else, take a measurement of their crown and then go from there. Again, every round I count my stitches. So that's very important. And again, we want to end with a double crochet. If I don't end with a double crochet, 2 double crochets into the last stitch, I know I messed up. To make it easier, I have to count, and if I missed a stitch, I just start that row again. We're going to do a slip stitch, yarn over, pull through the loop. Now we're going to be on to our 4th round. So every 4th stitch will be 2 double crochets. So this is my 5th round, my last round for the top of the hat. So in every 5th stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets. For the last round, when I first started making bucket hats, that's when I would mess up the most because personally, I was eager to get to the middle part of the hat, but just make sure that you focus on the pattern. So every 5th stitch is 2 double crochets, and then at the end of every round, we can just count every stitch. At the 5th round, we should have 60 stitches. If you do more rounds than this, you'll be doing increments of 10, so round 6, 70, round 7, 80, and so on. Now we will be doing the middle portion of the bucket head. So just like before, we're going to start by chaining 2. For this round, it'll be a little bit different. We're going to be working, there'll be no increases. So we'll be doing a double crochet stitch into every single stitch. We will be putting it through the loop closest to the floor. So as you can see, I'm pulling it only through the thread or the loop that's closest to the ground. We do this so it can curve downwards. You'll be able to see as we start working more threads into the middle portion, it kind of taper downwards. So for this round, we just want to make sure we're focusing on there. And just like before, we'll end by counting our stitches. So you want to make sure that it's the same number as the last round prior. Work on that. Take your time. Right, now we're going to be doing the second row of the middle part. From here onwards, it's relatively straightforward. We'll just be doing one double crochet to every stitch. There'll be no increases, there'll be no putting it in a particular loop. So from here, we're just making sure that we do our double crochets into every single stitch. Right now we're working on the building the length for the middle portion. So from here on out, I'm just making sure that I count my stitches. Do one double crochet into every stitch. And then once we are comfortable to move on to the next step, we can go from there. Now I like to build the middle portion until it sits just above my eyebrow. So I just put it on my head, put it, measure it. Usually I don't use measurements, so I just go off of what I can see. And it was touching the top of my eyebrow, and I knew that that's where I kind of wanted it to end. If you're using a 6.5mm hook, and if you have a large head, then you will probably benefit from my measurements, which is 5 rows on top and then 4 middle rows, and then I just do 4 top rows. But just measure as you go, or put it on your own head. I like to use a 6.5mm crochet hook because that's what I learned on. I find it easier to grab the thread with the hook with a larger hook size. But if you have learned with a smaller hook, amazing. Just do what you like. I don't mind the bigger threads. Keep building up the middle portion. Feel free to pause the video. Now my biggest thing with bucket hats were when I first started, um, it was the miscounting of the numbers. So before this, I usually did single crochets, rib stitches. I did projects that if you did it on number of stitches, you can just fix it, just quite larger projects. And this one requires a little bit more thinking, I guess, which was unusual for me. So it was kind of a hard thing for me to get used to. I struggled with making my magic circle, which I realize now that I went way too fast, so I can make a slower version. for you guys. I can also link one that I used to learn on, and it was amazing. Yeah, the magic circle was really difficult for me to learn. Just the tension, the placement of my fingers was, I hadn't done that before, just like with crochet. It really is the tension, the placement of your fingers. And then as we work up to, I guess, more intermediate level projects, it requires more thinking, I guess. And um, that can be amazing. Just like this project, I had to count the stitches, I had to make sure everything was uniform, I had to make sure the pattern was being followed, because that's very vital for how it lays on your head. Now I'm gonna leave you for now because I think you'll be fine. So just take your time. This should be fine. If it's too much, take a break, come back. We can always restart the video. So I will see you when we do our brim. Okay, now we're going to start on the first round of the brim. So we'll be doing no increases, just double crochets to every stitch. As you can see, I'm going into the loop that's closest to us. So before in the brim we did the one that was further away to the ground. Now we're doing the one that's closest to us. It'll have the opposite effect, so it will start tapering outwards. For the first round, just make sure you focus on putting double crochets into the loop that's closest to us. No increases, just focus on that. At the end, we'll count our stitches, and then we'll go on to the second row of the brim. I'm just counting my stitches, making sure that I have 50. I ended with my last row, which was row 5, so I should have had 50 stitches. I'm good to go. So again, skip the first 2 chains, go onto the first one to do a slip stitch. Now for this round, it'll be different. We're going to start building it out. So we're going to be doing increases again. For this round, we left on row 5 So we'll be doing a row 6. So every 6 stitch will be 2 double crochets. Now after this row, you'll be doing a regular one. So that is no increases, just double crochet into every stitch. Then the next row will be increases again. I like to do 4 stitches for my brim. Sorry, there's a dog here. Um, so I really only do 2 increases on my brim. So we're just focusing on building it out, the length and width. That's what the increases are doing at the moment. So again, for the first round of the brim, we started tapering it out. The next round, we focused on increases. Then every other round, we just build on the length. So there will be no increases. And then the next round, increases. So if it's too complicated, please let me know. I feel like over explaining things for me is the way I learn best, but everyone learns differently. You might find some other video that works best for you, so just let me know. I love feedback. I really just want everyone to have an easier time than what I did. I've probably made like over 30 bucket hats in the last couple days because I was determined to figure this out. Um, and I know that you guys can too. It just takes a little, just like with every new thing, it takes, some learning, but then we get a hang of it. So I finished my increase row. I'm doing regular stitches. Again, I like to build 4 rows as I find that it sits perfectly. It's just like a bucket hat. Now, if you guys are following along, I'd love to see what you made. These are amazing for the summertime. If you're interested on doing a striped pattern or checkered pattern, I can also link some really good videos on how to do that. The striped one is relatively simple if you know how to change out your colors. So I can give you like a little short of that if you like. But there's so many things online, so you might find it easier just finding one of the existing ones, because that's what I do. Now I also taught myself how to crochet through watching videos on YouTube. At first it was very hard. What was my first one like? I think I thought for some reason I could crochet a jumper, my first project, and it was so bad. I found it really hard and I gave up. You know, you can get a little overwhelmed with any new skill. So I left it for like a year. And then I was like, oh, I might go back into crocheting, and I picked it up again. And it's that persistence. I crochet things because I'm sure like you, if you're listening, or with anyone else, it's just a great way to focus on, for me, my remaining present. I have a lot of stuff going on. I can just grab some yarn from Michael's or in my yarn collection and then just build something. I like to learn new styles, and how to improve them, how to make it work best for me. So, yeah, just don't give up. Um, but if you've made it this far, I assume you didn't give up and you're actually doing really amazing. So, I'm so proud of you. If you see dog hair, I am so sorry. I have a golden retriever corgi, and he sheds like crazy. And I'm working in the lounge or living room. I usually like to work in my office, but it had better lighting, so that's what we're doing. Next time, I will not do that because, again, he sheds like crazy. If you guys have any tips on how to minimize dog hair, please let me know. Yeah, so we're just focusing on building out the length and width of the brim. You can go as long as you like. I have made a very large brim in one of my crochet hook projects. I didn't like it. It's my personal opinion. It kind of looked like like a mop sitting on my head. So if you can make that work, then yeah, do it. Because again, it's really up to what you like, and every crocheter can make any of their projects work. I love crocheting because of that. It's your own personal style into all of your pieces. So if you like the lengths to be different, or if you like it to be stiffer, then do whatever works best for you. And that's what makes it amazing. Now, I find it easier. The type of thread I'm using is a mix. It's acrylic and cotton. I find mixes are a lot easier. If it's just 100% acrylic, sometimes I find it to be too soft. And then you're focusing on a different type of tension. So my tension's a lot more tauter. Um, yeah. Congratulations. Now we're just going to, I like to tie off my last loop into a knot. I don't think it really matters. It's just a habit that I do. But we'll just be sewing in our ends, and then you'll have a nice handmade bucket hat. Amazing. So we're going to turn our work inside out because our loose ends will be on the inside. Um, and we're going to take the yarn needle and just sew it in to the stitches. So I like to focus it on the stitches that are closest to me so you can't see it from the outside. I just thread my yarn through my needle, and then I go under, over into my stitches, as you can see. I like to do it into the stitches where it's kind of looping, just so you can't really see the thread. When it just is a more sturdier project. Now when I sew in the ends, I like to just pull it taut, and then I snip it off at the base, and you've sewed in an end. And then I just have to sew in the threads there. I'm just wetting the thread as it's making it easier. This bucket hat is for me, so my slipper is on it. Um, but if I was making it for a friend or a loved one, I just use a yarn that isn't so fluffy because I don't really want my slipper on their project. You can always wash it as well. Under, over, again, um, my personal style is just to make sure I go with the crochets so it blends in relatively nicely. Pull it taut, snip it off at the end, and you're done. Congratulations! You made your bucket hat. As I was editing the video, I realized that I wanted to show you how the crochet hat lays on your head. So this is what it should look like. Hopefully it looks like this, or it looks better, but it kind of just tapers out at the edges there, just like that. You could like wear it like this if you want, or you could wear it like that, just whatever works best for you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.